me, I think it's one of those things you won't really get until you experience it, but it was just a huge like, oh, wait, less is more. We don't really need as much as we think we need. And we're so caught up in like the happiness of pursuit instead of the pursuit of happiness. Like we want to have things and need things. And so long story really short, the breath kind of just depleted all of this like identity and attachments and things I thought I needed on this conscious journey or, you know, this healing journey or whatever. And it's really like you give up more to receive more, if that makes sense. Does that even answer that?
You answered it perfectly. You said so many interesting things there, and I want to decide where I want to dive into this, because that's why I like to let these conversations go wherever they want to go, because even fasting is something that hasn't been talked about too much on this podcast, and very curious to know some more when it comes to that, because the first thing I'm thinking is like, well, how long is she fasting? Because it sounded like it was like various times, and it sounded like this is a normal part of lifestyle for you now. Those out there like me is like, how much weight would I lose if I fasted for a super long time as a naturally thin human? Like when I don't, eat, on purpose, like I lose tons of weight, which is a whole different story for me.
Well, you'd be surprised. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I've been on just juice for the past 26 days. I'm still having solid bowel movements, and I've lost 5 pounds. The breath really nourishes the cells, like they're oxygenated to a level where like you're not depleted of energy or depleted of like, if anything, you're losing water weight, like, which is just emotional weight and inflammation. So like you really don't lose as much weight as you might think. You might at first, or, but like as you continue to build with the breath and like reconstruct the body, I guess you could say, because it kind of comes down to like deconstructing to reconstruct. Like you want the foundation of your house to be solid, right? So like that's kind of, I guess, the journey I'm on. In general though, I've been on just probably, I guess you would say 95% liquids since last February. If I do chew or anything, it is like fruit or raw vegan. But it just feels so much better when you're at a lighter density. Like you literally are a magnet. So, when you eat, like anybody can admit, when you eat something heavy, you kind of have heavier thoughts, and like it just kind of like correlates. You have something a little bit lighter, you have more space, and there's less pressure in the room. Like the organs don't inflame and create like, a swollenness or a pressure, which literally the internal reflects the external, and then pressures in your environment might, exist. And it's crazy how connected everything really, really, truly is, and we kind of subconsciously don't even realize it. But like where your breath is like really where your spirit is. Like the deeper you breathe, the deeper you're able to breathe. There's less blockages in there from food. The more you can receive, the more you have creative energy and space to do other things. And like you can, it's a whole big unlearning thing for a lot of people. I know we're like, so like, wait, food, I love food, I need food. It's not like I don't love food. Food is good. But like the desire just literally decreased as I practiced breath work every day. Like there was just no need. Like I didn't try to not want food or be liquidarian or breatharian or whatever Arian. There was no like effort. It just happened over time. Like I didn't mean for this. It just happened.
I love how you're describing it. Like you have my wheels turning. Like I'm super interested in what you're describing, for sure. I'm going to actually look into this more and probably ask you some more questions about it in this.
Sure.
Here in front of me.
It's a big lake to dive into.
Let's start with the breath for anybody out there that might be foreign to breath work, and what that could do for us, and just how you were describing, like the deeper that you can breathe, like just what you were just describing and just your description just now. For anybody out there that might not be familiar with like what you do or your work, like let's start there, because I'm very curious, and I have more when it comes to the fasting being, because my mind is filled with questions. I lift like really, really heavy weights, because my question to you is like, how much, with 95% being liquid diet, how much can you like put the body through as far as physical activity?
I did like a 30-mile bike ride the other day. But we'll get into that. Let me first just like break down before we like get into that. Because I feel like everybody's biggest concern is that, and it's just funny how your perspective shifts once you start doing breath work. But so what breath work is essentially is just like a conscious breathing practice. Really, really ancient, dating back to Africa and Egypt. It's been around for centuries. It's just now kind of becoming this hashtag and trendy thing, but it's hundreds of years old.
So interesting. So Casey, this conversation is really fun for me because normally on my conversations, like I'm so talkative, like I have so much, and what I'm hearing the whole time, because all I care about is my present moment vibration. Like that's my number one focus. And when I wake up in the morning, like I purposely put myself in gratitude first thing, and then I'll drink some water, and then I will meditate to where just so I'm feeling in a vibration that I like to be in. And I just like to start the day there, and then I'm very mindful of where my vibration goes moment by moment. And you can feel it if you start the day with anything. Like you can feel it if you go from how you feel after doing like a breath work session to all of a sudden you notice yourself, being anxious about something, an hour or two into the day. That's a dramatic difference in feeling and vibration than where you were after that. So not saying that any of us are like guaranteed to be like high vibes forevermore, like all day, every moment. All I care about is awareness of it, where it's not like a blind spot where all of a sudden it's like, damn, I've been anxious about this all day and didn't even realize like how it was throwing off my whole day, and reflecting into the external, which is, you hit on that earlier, which is really one of the most important things for us to be aware of is like, why is all this that Casey's describing important? Because all of as you get your frequency to where, it is, and it's unlimited where it can be. So as you're practicing this and it matters to you, what's reflecting in all the areas of our life that matter is so important. So,
and then it's just like the breath is the one thing that is there for you no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like you can meditate, you can clean dishes, you can dance, but like you're breathing. You couldn't do any of those things without breathing. So like, and breath literally translates to spirit. Like if you look up the definition of spirit, it means breath. So it's just like being aware of your breath is being aware of your spirit. And like if you have your nervous system and your breath and then like in an aware, conscious place, like your frequency literally changes. Like the whole past year of my life, completely 360. Like this time last year, I wasn't doing anything that I'm doing right now. I was working a 60-hour job, like 60-hour week job, 12-hour days, not enjoying it at all, really. And it's just crazy how that's the only thing that I changed. I mean, it was just being more conscious of my breath. And now I'm like the happiest I honestly can say I've ever been. It's crazy.